Hello, welcome to Sugi Health's Tai Chi Gong video. I'm Amy Erez and I'm going to take you through a series of Qi Gong, Tai Chi Chuan sequences, and also demonstrate for you the saber set. So please stay with us as we move into a unique experience of movement and health. As you go through the movements and hold the postures, I want you to be thinking about keeping yourself in a place of comfort and ease. No pain, no gain is not a saying that we're on board with. So look for a way to continually increase your comfort, let go of any pain and restrictions that you might feel, and do your practice in a joyful way. We always want to begin our practice with standing meditation. We're standing in the center of a circle, imagining a circle called Wu Qi with a point in the center. And that's what we do when we're in our standing meditation. This is the most important part of our practice, even though there's the least amount of activity involved. So you want to start by aligning your feet underneath your hips. Shoulders are over the hips, and arms are relaxed at the side. Anytime you need to adjust so that you become more comfortable, it's okay to kind of move the feet around and make sure that you can really feel them underneath your hips. I want you to start out by closing your eyes, bringing your feet underneath your hips, softening your knees, and allowing yourself to begin to go inside. Feel the way you've placed the feet and how they feel on the floor beneath you. Allow the toes to be open and relaxed, and an equal distribution of the weight between the two feet. Feel the way the ankles are arranged, allowing them to soften, and then scan up through the lower legs, touching base with the knees, feeling the thighs, front and back, and noticing the way they connect with the hips. Take a moment to scan throughout the pelvis and sense whatever it is that you can feel there. Now bring your attention to the spine. You want to start with your attention on the base of the spine, the tailbone and the sacrum, moving up through the vertebrae, seeing if you can sense each of the different vertebrae in the lower back. As you do so, continue to keep the knees soft and work your way up through the vertebrae in the mid-back, moving upward to the upper back, and sensing throughout the different muscles that are around the spine, allowing them to relax more and more deeply as you move through your scanning sequence. Take a moment to sense the shoulders. You might lift and lower them a couple of times just to give the body the message that it's okay to let go. Take your attention down through the arms, feeling the hands and the fingers, and then bring your attention back to the center, up the rest of the spine, feeling each of the vertebrae in the neck, and then notice where it connects to the skull. Feel the head lightly perched atop the spine, and imagine that you have a cord rising up from the top of the head up into the heavens above. This will give you a sensation of being held from above as well as below. Then sink your awareness down through the front of the body until you land at the Dantian. And the Dantian is 3 fingers width below your navel. Breathing, we want to breathe in and fill the belly full and round. And then as you exhale, let the belly deflate, moving all of the air out. We'll focus for the next few minutes as we meditate by watching the breath as the belly fills and empties. Sometimes we're too tired or not feeling well and we want to still do our meditation. So in those situations, we want to go ahead and sit down for it. What you need is a straight back chair, something that you can sit on the end of without it toppling over. It's going to hold your weight comfortably. You want to start by placing the sit bones toward the edge of the chair, bringing the thighs straight out from the hips and then the lower legs straight down underneath the knees. The hands can just be placed lightly on the knees, no gripping, no particular posturing, just nice and relaxed arms. So again, we're going to close our eyes, bring ourselves inside, and start to scan through the body. Beginning with the feet, sensing the way you've placed them on the ground. Make sure that the ankles are underneath the knees, and adjust anything as you become more and more into the meditation. If you get tired, the back starts to bother you, just make some minor adjustments so that you can be comfortable. Scanning up from the ankles, through the lower legs, and into the knees. Then take a moment to feel what's happening in the thighs, and bring your attention to where the thigh bone connects to the hip bone. Sense what's happening in the pelvis, and bring your attention to the tailbone and the sacrum. From the sacrum, you're going to begin to work your way up through the spine, sensing each of the vertebrae in the lower spine, noticing the muscles that surround it, and then take a moment to make a note of what you sense before you move into the middle back, sensing each of the vertebrae and the muscles, moving into the upper back. See if you can find each one of the vertebrae And just make a mental note of any areas that are escaping you as you move on up to the shoulders. Bring your attention down from the shoulder to the elbow, from the elbow through the forearm to the wrists, and all the way into the hands and fingers. Then return your attention to the spine. Bring it all the way up through the neck, seeing if you connect with each vertebrae as it connects to the head. And then imagine the cord rising out through the crown of the head, reaching up into the heavens above, so that you are sitting in between the heavens and the earth and being supported equally by both. Sink your attention down through the front of the body to the dantian and focus 3 fingers width below the navel for the breath. Inhale, allow the belly to be round and full, and you might notice this tilts the pelvis a little bit as you breathe. And when you exhale, the pelvis will relax as all of the air escapes. We'll spend the next few minutes watching the breath and sensing the pelvis as it rocks a little bit with each breath for our sitting meditation. You start in Wu Chi. Pivot the left toe to 45 degrees. Shift the weight and step forward 2 steps. 1 foot length, measure the second foot length, and then another half of your own foot length. Shift the weight onto the front foot. The knee is bent so that you can't see the toe when you look down. You want the thigh carrying most of the weight. 70% forward. 30% of the weight is on the back foot. The knee is unlocked and back. And the foot is at a 45-degree angle. If we return to Wu Chi, we can do the left side. Turning the right toe out to a 45-degree angle, and then 2.5 foot lengths forward, starting with 1, 2, and a half. Shift the weight forward so that if you look down, you can't see the toes underneath the knee. Back knee is soft, 70% of the weight is forward, and 30% of the weight is back. Returning to Wu Chi, that's our front stance. With the archer stance, you want to have the back leg in a 45-degree angle. So turn the right foot with the heel in towards your body, toe out at 45 degrees angle. Step out again, 1, 2.5 foot lengths, but this time you're keeping the knees open, the weight 70% to the back, the hips at a slight angle to the corner, and the front foot has 30% of the weight. Returning to Wu Chi, we can do the other side. Turn the left toe 45 degrees to the corner, 70% of the weight on the thigh, and step out 1, 2.5 foot lengths forward at hip width, 30% of the weight on the forward foot. Return to Wu Chi, and that finishes our archer stance. For the cat stance, you want to start in your Wu Chi posture. Pivot the left heel so that the toe is pointing at 45-degree angle. Bring the weight onto the left foot and count 2 steps. 1 and 2, placing the right toe on the floor in front. 90% of the weight is to the back and 10% is on the front foot. You want to be able to easily lift that foot so that you can move back and forth. Return to Wu Chi. Turn the right heel so the toe is pointing to the corner. Shift the weight onto the right foot and bring the left foot forward. 1 and 2 on the toe for your cat stance. Make sure that the weight is firmly planted on the back foot so the front foot can be lifted with ease. Return to Wu Chi, and you're done with the cat stance. The horse stance is a simple stance. You want to start in the Wu Chi posture and then move the legs apart so the feet are double shoulder width. Keeping the feet parallel, place the weight on the thighs, keeping the shoulders over the hips and standing in the center. We're going to start with doing our rubbing step, stepping forward into a front stance. As you shift your weight, bring the other foot in a half circle, placing the heel and then the foot. Moving forward, the eyes are focused down 6 to 8 feet in front of you. Arms are relaxed by the sides. Shifting back, bring the weight to the back, and it's the same half circle. In toward the foot, and then out to hip width again. Shifting and filling the foot you're standing on, emptying the front foot so that you can step easily. Then adding the arms for single ward off. Same step. And look to make your shifting and the timing of the arms coming to place to be the same. There's no up and down movement. The knees stay bent the same amount as you move forward and as you move back. Return to Wu Chi to rest. Stepping into the front stance, twisting step is simply a pivot of the toe to the corner and then continue with the rubbing step through. Pivot the toe to the corner and rubbing step through. Pivot the toe and step through. Returning, we're going to sweep around to the outside, shift the weight, and adjust the heel. When you do this step, you want to make sure that you bring the heel across in line with the toe so that you have the proper placement of the foot. Now we're going to add the hands, stepping forward with brush knee and twist step. Pivot the toe, step through and circle the arms. Pivot, step, and circle. Pivot, step, and circle. Moving back, we're doing repulse the monkey. Reach and look, step behind, adjust the heel and the hands. Reach and look, step behind, adjust the heel and the hands. Reach and look, step behind, adjust the heel and the hands. Return to Wu Chi to complete. Stepping into the corner, we want to do a rubbing step out into the corner, shifting the weight and sweeping all the way across to the other corner. Shift and sweep across. You might notice that with this form of walking, you don't go forward as quickly as you do with the rubbing step forward. And then when we add our hands, we do slant flying. The palm ends up, coming from underneath, bringing the timing so that the arms and the feet end at the same place. When we walk in cat stance, it's kind of a funny experience because we're not walking very far and not for very fast. We're going to start by turning the toe to the corner and bringing the opposite foot forward onto the toe. As we step, we simply place the heel down, bring the back foot forward onto the toe. Let the heel drop, bring the back leg forward onto the toe. When you move into your white crane, the arms are going to come up so that the opposite hand is high. If I have my left toe forward, I have my right hand high. Drop the heel, sweep the hands into place, and move forward just a little bit at a time. This is white crane, spreads its wings in a cat stance.